Now, we tackle here the dangerous topics. Dangerous if you're a man, at least in this case. And tackle it a little tentatively. I read there's a new therapy. It's to deal with your stress or your frustration or your anger. It's called a rage ritual, and it looks like this. You do see a lot of women there. In fact, USA Today reports that rage rituals have garnered attention on TikTok, where they've resonated particularly with women. I think there's an important point here, which I'm not prepared actually to sketch out without some help from my Tuesday panel. Will Kingston, host of Fire at Will, a weekly podcast from The Spectator on politics and culture. And Sky News host Danica DiGiorgio, host of Danica and James on Sky News on Sundays at 8 p.m. Danica, I'm afraid you're it for obvious reasons. You start. I'd rather not say why I am not surprised that women particularly are attracted to this rage therapy, but are you?
Look, Andrew, sorry, I'm trying to still recover from that exorcism that we just witnessed on our screens. I'm actually really trying to figure out why these women are so angry. And according to Google, Andrew, it's because they're angry at men. They're angry at their partners. They're angry at their husbands. They've been told they have to suppress their anger. You know, you can't be angry. Men can show their anger. And this is the way that they're doing it. Apparently, they're coughing up $4,000 to go and beat the ground with sticks and carry on like pork chops. I don't understand it, Andrew. I feel like there's better ways of dealing with your anger, but that's just me. I'm very concerned that women are out there doing this, I've got to say.
I had no idea a stick was so expensive, but there you go. Will, give us an opinion on this. You're usually very literate and well-informed.
Usually. This is dangerous territory for a 30-something white male, Andrew, but I'll give it a crack. There is something interesting going on with, I think, what is like a warped brand of modern feminism. If you look at some of the studies of happiness over the last 70-odd years, you'll notice that men's happiness hasn't really changed. Men are about as happy as they were in the 1950s. Women's happiness has fallen off a cliff. Women today, if you look at all the studies, they're considerably less happy than they were. And paradoxically, that's come at the same time as legal rights and equality for women has increased. And I think this is a conversation we need to have as a society, in that this sort of modern feminism, which says that women can have absolutely everything and they can have it all at the same time, creates unrealistic expectations. And when those expectations aren't met, I think you see that a lot of women aren't happy. So look, this sort of stuff is funny to watch in these clips, but there is a serious point, and that is around the happiness of women in society today.
Yeah, I think, that whole concept of women's rage has been around for many, many centuries, scaring the hell out of men. Have a look at the Maenads, the women of Bacchus, and the riots there, where if men dared to disturb women in the forest, they could be torn to pieces. I don't know, and women tend to be more religious. I don't know whether that's got anything to do with this, and I think I'll stop right there, Danica, before I get into real trouble. But to safer stuff, I wonder if this is probably more serious, or maybe not. Joe Biden, the US president, has already had many people, of course, wondering about his obvious mental and physical decline. Two more examples of this problem from just the past couple of days. Extraordinary. First, here he is. Here's Biden claiming he was vice president during the pandemic, which every American will know actually happened when Donald Trump was president.
And when I was vice president, things were kind of bad during the pandemic. And what happened was, Barack said to me, go to Detroit and help fix it.
Biden staff said later, well, it's a simple mistake. He actually meant to say he was vice president during the recession, not the pandemic, although that's not a great boast either. And then there was this Biden talking about an American still actually held hostage by Hamas in Gaza. Here he is.
My administration is working around the clock to free the remaining hostages, just as we have freed hostages already. And here with us today is Hirsch Goldberg Poland, and still, he is not here with us, but he's still being held by Hamas.
Danica, are these simple slips or just constant signs of senility?
I think it's absolutely constant signs of senility, Andrew, but we've seen this going on for some time. It's the constant fumbles, bumbles, mumbles. If he's not tripping, he's slipping. He's forgetting things. He can't read his teleprompter, as you can see there. His eyes are straining just to read it. And it's actually a very sad state of affairs, because if this was your loved one, if this was a family friend or a friend, you would actually have to have a serious conversation with them about care, the next step in their lives and what that would look like. Yet apparently this is the leader of the free world who is completely incoherent and making constant gaffes on a weekly basis. And it's sad that this is happening. And it's clearly, it's become evident he's being propped up on a daily basis. They're obviously giving him something to prop him up, but it's not working. And I don't know how the Democrats have gone this far without saying we need to replace this man. How can he go around the rig again?
Well, good question.
Here's a good question. The great irony here, Andrew, is that there is almost no other job in the United States that Biden is fit for other than being president, which apparently is now a 3-day-a-week ceremonial role whilst other people run the country in the shadows. That is the great conspiracy theory of our time. And I think in years to come, we will hear a lot more about this shadow government that has been running the United States. And I think there's another conspiracy theory, which Danica hit on, which I think is more likely than not, which is he is being pumped up with a cocktail of drugs to get him through the day. They're not admitting to it in the White House, but it's the only logical explanation that explains how his energy declines precipitously during major speeches. And it's the only thing that explains his really odd visual appearance and his eyes in videos. I can't believe that this is something which isn't being called out more.
I think you're absolutely correct, because it's chalk and cheese how he appears in some places, almost totally out of it. And then, there's a little switch on. That does seem chemically enhanced. Danica, and I did read in one of the left-wing papers, I can't remember what it was New York Times or something, that he does indeed work very short days. He can't get through anything long. It's really weird, isn't it?
Well, it is really weird, Andrew, and this is the thing. Of course, he can't work long days given his age, and this is why. How long can we let this go on for? They've actually shown a clip in the last few days of him reading from a teleprompter where he seems his eyes are open, he's very alert, and then 2 days later he's squinting and looks sick. So there is no doubt he's being propped up somehow. But there's got to be a better candidate available. This is just ridiculous to watch this all the time.
Well, you say the better candidate, but he says he's it, and there's now no opportunity to get rid of him. The Democrats are stuck with him for the next election. We're out of time, I'm afraid. Will Kingston, Danica Di Giorgio, thank you so much indeed for your time. Really appreciate it.